Okay, turns out I am live here. So, welcome to, what is this, the 13th or 14th Guitar Collection live stream? The 13th. Welcome to the 13th GuitarCollection.com live stream. It is a chilly day over here in Austin, Texas with snow on the rooftops. And that's pretty rare. It usually happens once a year, sometimes far less. So, pretty cool. But I have humidifiers running. Those of you, by the way, in cold weather, don't forget to humidify. But I have humidifiers running throughout the room here, including, over on this side, you can see a kettle. It's not going right now because it's a good 40% in here right now. But you know what? Sometimes it takes two things to humidify the room, not just one little tiny humidifier, which you can see. Oh, I keep on leaning the wrong way. You can see behind me there on the ground. So yes, it's a humid room, but otherwise a very dry household, along with some snow on the rooftops here. So if you're tuning in, let me know where you are watching from, what you're doing. Are you at work? Are you relaxing at home? Are you across the world? I'd love to hear. Oddly, in the live stream control center here, it says something went wrong in the area that it normally shows the chat. Let me go check to see if I open up a new window, it'll be there. Is anyone currently watching? Or is there something wrong with the stream? I'm opening up the live dashboard here. Oh, it says I'm live. It's probably okay, but I just couldn't see the chat. Wow, I would hate to not see the chat during this whole time. Well, it seems, okay. Oh, I've got it. All right, you guys are here. I don't know why the other one doesn't seem to be working well, but I'm streaming. This is good. Now I can see chat, so I'm gonna just write in here to test. Hello, everyone. And by the way, if you're watching this later and you weren't able to watch the stream, so you're catching the replay of it afterwards, just know that there are timestamps on this video. You don't need to sit here and watch me wait for everybody. But if that's your cup of tea, that's your cup of tea. Yeah, right after these, I go and I edit the time so I can show different instruments, like right when I start presenting them to you. Although sometimes I get sidetracked during that as well. So anyways, let me know if you're tuning in, where you're tuning in from. And I'm going to wait for a few more people to show up because I am starting with an incredible guitar here that I just got in a couple of days ago. Been slammed busy with my teaching days. I teach Monday through Wednesday as of now. And so no one's seen this. And this guitar, for those of you who don't know from just looking at it or recognizing the rosette, although there are some people that have copied this rosette, I said they are very popular guitars. This is Antonius Müller Doubletop guitar. This one's from the year 2019, and it's, I believe, his last guitar of that year. So this guitar is about, it's had, wow, it's about 6 years already. And just to start things off here about Antonius Müller guitars, these are maybe the most popularly performed on instruments in the world these days. Now, Matthias Dahmen, also very famous if you consider the volume of concerts being played by the few people that own these. For instance, like David Russell and Manuel Barreto, Pablo Sanz-Viejas, the Beijing Guitar Duo. That's a lot of concerts just with that group of people. However, Antonius Müller guitars might be even more performed on as far as number of people because he's still in the height of his building career, and while his wait list is more than 10 years long, those that have these instruments seem to always keep them. Like if you go on YouTube, you can watch Ennio Desiderio and Zoran Dukic playing them. I mean, really, the list goes on. And what's really cool is there's a lot of young players playing these guitars too. So you're not only seeing these in the likes of the most famous players, but also being used in competition with some of the biggest competition players and winners playing these. In fact, if you look back at this 2024 Guitar Foundation of America competition, and I swear I'll get to playing this in just a second, but if you look at this last GFA, 2 players were playing Antonius Müller guitars, Francisco Luis and Hao Yang. We're both playing Tony Müller's guitars, or yeah, you'll hear him called Tony Müller, Antonius Müller, because those that know him call him Tony. So, about this guitar, and apologies if you already know these instruments and you're just waiting for me to play a note, but I want to give the proper introduction to these. These are extremely even guitars. So much so to where I really think probably no other modern day double top maker compares. They are freakishly even. I mean, you play the same no matter where you are on the fingerboard, and evenness is such a underrated quality. People talk about volume, they will talk about color, they will talk about balance, dynamic range. But evenness is this characteristic that makes you relax when you're playing the guitar, possibly more than any of these other characteristics. Because, if you think about a traditional Spanish guitar, there is some unevenness amongst the instrument. Maybe you're playing in first position, it's really responsive, but up higher you have to try a little bit more to get the same sound that you were getting in first position. Or for that matter, maybe some notes are stronger or weaker. This is maybe even more applicable, especially with Spanish and traditional guitars. Now, there is fun to that too, by the way. Doesn't mean that is not also a good quality, because the variance is really nice sometimes on traditional guitars. But the evenness on this guitar is undoubtedly making it extremely easy to play, and I'll demonstrate some of that. Although I have to say, when you're holding the guitar, it is a different experience. But this guitar, when you're on the second string, for instance, there are some guitars when you do a demonstration like that where you're like, ooh, I don't wonder if this is going to come out like I think. It's not like that at all on this guitar. If I play the beginning of La Catedral by Barrios, for instance, he does this the best in the world. Now listen, when I say he's the best in the world, I mean amongst the very best. I mean at the very top. I've truly not experienced a guitar that is as even in the upper frets and all over the fingerboard as Antonius Müller guitars. And while I'd like to tell you that this guitar is exceptional and it's better than all the other ones in terms of evenness, I would be lying to you. They are all so, like, every single one that I've played has been like this. So it's unbelievable the level of consistency, and that also makes his guitars extremely in demand, because every single one you can expect to be an amazing guitar. So it's really wild. There are some things that are unique and wonderful about this instrument, but gosh, the evenness, it's just something that's on seemingly every Antonius Müller. That's why they're so hard to find. But yeah, the evenness and sustain and the evenness of attack. And this is such a hard thing to strike, especially on such a loud guitar. I'm going to nerd out about this one for a little while here. So apologies if you'd like me to move on. But I'd like to get to a couple of comments here. And I see some more people are tuning in. Let me know where you're tuning in from, where you're watching from, and what you're doing. I want to know. It stinks that you guys just see me. But are you playing guitar as well, comparing these to your instruments? Or are you at work? Are you on a drive and just listening? I'd love to hear. Ross Gill 6 says, good morning. Did you guys get snow up there? I'm drinking my coffee and playing my guitar since most things are closed. Yes, we did get snow. And I wish I could point my camera right now over to the rooftops, although it's getting so sunny now that it's melting. I'm here in Austin, Texas, and let me get this ugly chair out of the way. I'm here in Austin, Texas, and it's that lucky day of the year where it snows and everything closes. So the Austin School District is closed today, and yeah, just kind of enjoying being locked up and humidifying the heck out of this room. Yeah, so welcome you all. Welcome, Ross. Nice Guitar says, the notes are so even. If not for the ringing, you'd be playing the whole thing on the same string. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the evenness is just insane. I mean, it's very hard to compare another instrument in terms of evenness. Now, you know, with that being said, every single guitar has some drawbacks. And if a guitar is pretty even and there's one note that's a little bit shorter than the other, this is something that's fine. Like, almost nothing frustrates me more than someone saying, well, let me test how good this guitar is, and muting every string and doing this. Now, I know a lot of people, including myself sometimes, have suggested that this is the way that you should test a guitar. But you know what? The reality is, a lot of the people that I've seen do that test, where you test the evenness of the strings like that, they don't even really know what they're listening for. And also, they don't know what to expect as far as what typical guitars are in terms of evenness. In fact, I have to say, I saw someone the other day, I won't say their name. I saw someone the other day testing the evenness of the notes and the sustain and the length of sustain by doing this. Which makes no sense, right? You're not letting the notes ring, and it doesn't make sense. So, anyways, what's up, y'all? Okay, so we've got Antonio from Zagreb. We've got Kaushik, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, from India. That's awesome, all the way in India. It must be late at night over there. Drew, what's up, from Canada? It's going to be colder up there than it is here right now. Dimitri, hi Evan, thank you for doing these podcasts. So interesting and entertaining. The guitar is a Balsa Doubletop. How do they compare to Blackwells and Cannons? Oh, nice. So we're going to get deep into it here, Dimitri, right away. Yes, this is a Balsa Doubletop. And yes, that's right. Martin Blackwell and Glenn Cannon also both do Balsa Doubletops. I would say, if you were to say what is most similar, it would be Cannon to Antonius Müller. I'm not talking about in level or quality. I'm talking about in the sound of the guitar. Blackwell is a bit slower of a bloom, which is a very nice thing as well. I have my Blackwell back there on the wall. You can see it behind my head over there. There's a bit slower of a bloom where Müller's, the notes pop off the string right away, like also like Cannons do in this way. But I'm not going to go into saying which one's better or worse, because I love all of those guitars. Certainly, Glenn Cannon is modeling his instruments off of Antonius Müller, I would say. Anyhow, and many other people that are doing Balsa Doubletops, as he was the first to do this Balsa Doubletop in the chevroning pattern and everything. Nice. Oh, this is interesting. Nice Guitar asks, Balsa versus Nomex. Differences? You know what? Lots of people will have a strong opinion on this, and I think I'm very worried about sounding too opinionated with these things, or like I'm judgmental of other people or their ideas. But this is just my own personal idea. Other people may really know, but I'm not so sure. I think a lot of people will claim that they're certain that they can hear Balsa, or they're certain they can hear Nomex, or one is more superior to the other. I am oftentimes tricked. You can usually see when it's a Balsa Doubletop. So, but after getting no instruments for a while, I'm often tricked. I have to say that, being honest, few people do either of the styles well. So, sorry. Yeah, very few people do traditional guitars well. Very few people do double tops well, whether it's Nomex or traditional. Or sorry, Nomex or balsa. I have to say that I kind of like the idea of balsa, that it's like staying all wood. However, I have a couple of guitars here. Also this, also some other things that are neither. With the double tops that are super convincing as well. So I think you just have to do it correct. You have to do it well to not make it sound double toppy, as I'll say, like something that's just like somewhat nasal or weight, like it feeling like everything's being produced on the top rather than vibrating the entire guitar. I really couldn't say if I have a preference towards one or the other, but they definitely have different sounds. I'm not so sure about it yet. My opinion's still developing, let's say that. So let's play some more notes on this guitar. I'm loving that everyone's tuning in, especially I get the chance to show you this Antonius Müller guitar, which you rarely see, honestly, especially on the market. You rarely see these guitars. This one's from 2019. It's 650 scale. It is a balsa double top cedar in both layers. Tony Müller doesn't mix the layers. And we got Indian rosewood back and sides. Almost looks like it's one piece, but it is joined in the center. It's just almost impossible to find that spot. Rogers tuners on this thing. I gotta make sure I don't bump this guitar because it is in perfect condition. Here, let me hold this up closer and not bump it. It's gonna just focus on my face. There we go. Look at these Rogers. Isn't that awesome with those that little engraving pattern with the dark mother of pearl inlays? I'm a tuner nerd. This is as best as it gets. Good morning, Dave. Good to see you here. Good to see you all. I mean, this is great. I think we have a little bit more of a turnout today because I decided to stream at the right time this time. Last week, I believe I started streaming at 10 a.m. my time instead of 11. In Central Time, and that had some mixed results, which is quite funny. Anyhow, well, cool. Let me know if there's anything you guys want me to do in this video, although I have some cool guitars to show you here. Look at what's coming up. This Altamira Stauffer model, or they call it the Vienna model, but it's based off of a Stauffer guitar. And boy, is this thing cool. Very different than the guitar I'm holding in my hands now, but we will get to it. So, let's play some things on this. I could just keep playing this on loop. Yep, it makes me think of keeping this one. Really, it's insane. It's hopefully you can tell from listening to this. But it is just so easy to make music on. I guess that's number one. It feels easy to make music on, and it's reliable. You know, you're not trying. You know, it's something you may not even think of at the time when you're trying an instrument, but if you don't have to try very hard at certain moments in the music to make it sound just beautiful, then your whole body just takes a step back. I was just emailing with a client and about this type of feeling and what it comes from. It's so difficult because it comes from the sound, it comes from the evenness, you know, the tonal. When I say the sound, I mean like the character of the guitar, the evenness, the sustain. Certainly the fingerboard and the shape of the neck, the tension, the feeling of tension on the strings. It's so many things, and that's why I love what I do and what I get to do every day here with these guitars is like communicate about some of this magic. And, you know, it's silly. So maybe to some people that, you know, don't think that there's anything to these nice guitars. It sounds silly, but it is really just pure magic. It's so hard to quantify what some of these things are, but boy, is this a one-of-a-kind guitar that is, for a very, very good reason, hard to find, very rare. You know, it's some people say, oh, well, it's because this person plays this guitar, it's famous. This is not one of those. Everyone that touches this guitar knows exactly why, immediately after playing a few notes, why these are so widely adored and played in concert halls, in homes, whatever. You know what? I want to say something about those first moments touching this guitar, taking a step back from oozing over this, and then I'm going to get to some of your comments here. I see some familiar faces, including my fiance here. Anyways, what about the first time picking up one of these? If you're coming from another guitar, say it's a traditional Spanish guitar, or it's another Doubletop for that matter, when you first play it, you might overplay it a little bit. Similar to the feeling of when you pick up a Smallman for the first time, for those of you that have had that experience. There's a lot of sound right away. And if you overplay this guitar, then you're going to make it sound bad. I mean, if you overplay any guitar, you're going to make it sound bad. But every guitar has different levels of which that, you know, you need to push the string, what types of touch that it likes, you'll get to know very quickly. But, you know, because of the evenness and the incredible sustain and the volume that this guitar has, and by the way, it's probably, it's one of the loudest or the loudest guitar in this room. I don't have a Bruck or in here right now, or a Cobb's, which might be a little bit louder in some ways. But anyhow, the feeling that you might get is right when you play a first note to play it like another guitar. But this is it's in a class of its own of how you have to respond to the guitar. Like when I play this. You get the feeling, I've got the idea, I've got how to describe it. You are a little bit lazy in your right hand. You feel a little lazy, which is nice. You know, at first, if I go like this, sorry if I'm peeking the mics. Then I'm going to get a little bit of the bad character out of this guitar for that melody, especially, which I'll get to the name in just a second, just to finish the point. You feel a little bit lazy in the right hand, and it's so nice to be that way, right? Like, take a listen to this sound, open strings. I'm being a nerd, but listen to these open strings. I think when I play this second string, it sounds like I'm really pushing hard into the string, but I'm not. I'm just like this beautiful, big round sound comes out of the guitar with every little pluck. Or let's say with the basses. What is it? Some part of the piece. Have to push hard. And by the way, these strings are old. Can you tell by the color of the basses? Maybe not. It looks okay on camera. In person, they look a little bronzed. By the way, these strings right now are D'Addario EJ45 FF with a nylon first string. Okay, let's see. Getting an order here. Oh, thanks, Dave, for the compliments about the piece and playing. Robert, good to see you. Bob, good morning. I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee. Mia, oh, thank you. What year is this Müller? This is a 2019, so it's got some years on it, but if you look at it, it looks like it was born yesterday. There's not a scratch, not a crack, not a ding. Oh, I mean, there are. If you've got a really keen eye, you can tell that it's not absolutely brand new, but it is as close to it as it gets. Sometimes, as I like to say, this is an example of one of these guitars. Sometimes certain guitars that have been super well kept look better condition than the guitars coming out of the luthier's workshop. Because sometimes the luthier will have some player over to try out a guitar and they'll leave a little scratch and it'll be such a shame. But anyhow, oh, a nice guitar says, oh, the beautiful sound. Tune name. Oh, this is Melodia de uma Noite. Noite. Sorry, it's Portuguese. It is by Silvestre Fonseca, a Brazilian composer, and it's dedicated to Edson Lopez. So go listen to his performance of it. That was the piece I was playing. Okay, we've got quite a few people here. I got to get to the next guitar because actually I have a student at 12 my time, so I have to be gone in 28 minutes. My goal in doing these live streams or podcasts or whatever you want to call them was to keep them to 30 minutes, but look what that has done to me here. Now it's an hour. By the way, you all, you're on the Guitar Collection YouTube channel now, but if you search Antonius Müller, like, you know, copying from the video title here, and then interview, you'll find an interview that I did with Antonius Müller about his guitar making career and what sound he goes for. And I think it was one of those interviews where I just was like, okay, and then what happened? You know, his storytelling ability is so amazing. So it was such an easy thing to film. And it was like an hour went by and it's like, I think we got it. That's your whole story. So it's pretty cool. I've listened back to it a couple of times and have enjoyed it. It's mostly a story of how he started building guitars and his, you know, going through the factory days, and then guitars that inspired him, and then kind of his pivot towards double tops and his own design with this balsa chevron pattern double top. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Fun thing to listen to. Well, okay, I'll set this beautiful Müller down. I think I've oozed over it enough. Okay, next guitar. What did I say was next? The Altamira guitar. I just got this in actually, I got it in a few days ago and I just unboxed it yesterday or the day before. Let's see. Do you think that the presence of varnish on the guitar top is a disadvantage for acoustic parameters? No, I mean, I'm not an expert on acoustics, but listening to what luthiers say about it, having a fringe polish top, which, I mean, all the guitars that I'm showing you today have, It should take away, in theory, nothing or maybe even add to the acoustic property. It's fringe polish, not sprayed on. And it's very thin. So a lot of times on fringe polish guitar tops, when you touch the top with the tip of your finger, you can even feel the wood grain through it. And if that's not there, then the guitar is going to be so susceptible to humidity changes, temperature changes, and the guitar is going to likely crack, get stained from oils in your arm. You've got to have something there. Otherwise, your guitar will certainly sound worse when it has tons of cracks. So, well, maybe not certainly, but it's likely to. So this guitar, I've played one of these before by Altamira, and I've actually recorded some videos on it. So you can go on Altamira Guitars YouTube channel and find a performance of me playing on one of these guitars. In fact, I guess there's a small chance it's the exact one. No, it's not, because this one's brand new from the end of 2024. But anyways, these are, I have some experience with these. There's now gut strings on this right now as well, as there was in the video where I played Unruhe by Merz and Abendlied. So this is brand new from the Hansen workshop of Altamira. They make a number of really great guitars at different levels. Some as cheap as like entry-level student guitars, all the way up to professional model double tops. And I'm going to be carrying a lot of these instruments, so it'll be cool to show you. But this is one of those professional level guitars. However, it's in smaller size because it's modeled after the instruments that, for instance, Legnani played on, and many of those famous guitarists of the time. As I said, it has now gut strings on it, and I have this tuned right now down 1/2 step, which I find to be a really relaxed, nice sound on this guitar. Listen to this. Talk about a difference from a double top. I have to tune this, but... Which, by the way, if anyone's ever handled pegs like these on an original Stauffer or Lacote or instruments of the time, they are real pain. However, these are a lot easier to handle. They are very easy to tune, honestly. But the temperature is so rapidly changing here. Asks, did you use Knobloch Assad Duo set, Bio Nylon? No, to be honest, I've always been kind of adverse to like signature model things, whether it was an electric guitar from childhood or whether it's a signature set of strings. I think it's a little bit gimmicky. Sorry Knobloch. Maybe they're great though, I have to try them. Listen to this guitar. Isn't that lovely? I can't remember this whole piece, but it's Abendlied by Merz. Isn't that nice? I mean, you know what? One thing that always strikes me when I play these Stauffer guitars or Stauffer model guitars is just how nice open string sounds. It's just this big sound. Sorry, I'm still getting into it. This guitar hasn't been out of its case besides once. Listen to this. I don't remember this piece. Isn't that nice? It's so cool. Okay, I am counting my blessings that I remember that much of the piece. So sorry for the sloppiness, and also sorry for my emails dinging over here. But yeah, that's a little bit of this Altamira Stauffer model, Vienna model they call it. Of course, Stauffer is made in Vienna, and this is what they're modeling after it. Now, notably, you know, there's this raised fingerboard that was common at the time, and also it floats. Do you see? If you look in between, you can see between the fingerboard and the top. And yes, Drew has lots of awesome pieces played on romantic guitars. He plays those so well. And yeah, this is a great opportunity to get one. I mean, this is in the sub $5,000 range. So if you've been curious about getting one of these, I mean, this is a, I don't know if they sent me one of their better ones or the best one, but this is the beginning of my relationship with Altamira, and what a great way to start it with this beautiful guitar, this beautiful Vienna model guitar. So write to me if you're interested. It's not on the website yet. I need to make a full review, and I will make a full review. But that could be done very quickly if you wanted to purchase this guitar. Oh, by the way, all the guitars that I'm showing today are not on the website yet. So write to me, write an email if you're interested, and then we can have a chat, including that Antonius Müller guitar that I just showed you. So great. Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else you'd like to hear on this guitar? You know, I'm tempted to try putting nylon strings on this guitar. Obviously, nylon strings were not used at the time. But I do think in a lot of ways they're superior, especially the scratchiness of the string. But the more I play this, the more I kind of get used to the sound. I mean, this isn't going to sound like a modern double top guitar, lattice brace, even a great traditional guitar. It's not going to sound like that. It has its own sound, and it's great for playing that era of music. So anyways, that sort of gives me some influence to just keep it the way it is on this guitar. Listen to that. It's not like these are real gut strings anyways, though, you know. The loose feeling of them, and actually the sound of them, is really pleasant. Listen to that. Wow. Well, super cool. Vienna model by Altamira. Really, really nice. Super easy to play. I mean, it definitely gives you the feeling of like, wow, why am I playing my you know, my Legnani repertoire, or I mean anything. It's not like you have to only play the, you know, Legnani on these guitars. You can also play a lot of other romantic repertoire, and it's very similar to the Lacotes as well in terms of sound. Fast and responsive. Yeah, it really is responsive. It's pretty cool. Okay, whoa. I'm back to a bigger guitar in my lap. It feels like a giant guitar. In reality, it's normal sized. Last up, we have this really cool, I mean, I've been a big fan of this guitar lately. This Antonius Raya Ferrer. It's from the year 2013. He's a Granada maker, one of the more famous ones. And it's got a spruce top, traditional fan bracing, and Madagascar rosewood back and sides. And you don't need special light to make this stuff look great. It is really a beautiful set of wood with, you know, look at the sides there. It catches your eye even while you're playing it. You're like, wow. I mean, these dark lines are really quite beautiful through the top. But if you're looking for a really traditional Spanish guitar that just sounds great, that's also easy to play with a low action. Also room to lower it even further if you want it to be like flamenco low. This is really, really a great guitar. And I think what's an interesting characteristic about it, which by the way, you can find a video of me showing this guitar in last week's live stream, and I won't do it again this time, but there is a very low main air resonance of this one mixed with a high resonance. I mean, it's really two tones. Dum bum, which is E, A. You hear both of these when you tap the top. And I have to say, it gives it this really huge, deep sound. Now, let's compare real quick. I'm not going to go back and forth between guitars. But this and the Antonius Müller guitar. Very different, right? Totally different constructions, different wood on the top, totally different philosophies of guitar making. However, they have some really nice things in common. I mean, one, this isn't going to be as even as something like that, as like one of the pinnacle of double top guitars, and you know, in terms of evenness, it's unmatched. But there's beautiful things about this as well in terms of the variance that you get in the different notes. I mean, sometimes that, you know, this being a little bit weaker than this is what can bring you some inspiration. You know, I mean, it's just so beautiful. You know, it catches you in certain areas and makes you feel creative. Isn't that nice? And now I drop it to drop D here. Pretty nice, right? I have to say that this guitar, it has a carbon first string, and I think I would prefer it with nylon. So I'm looking forward to trying nylon on this first string. No surprise to those of you that know this channel. Not a big fan of carbon first strings. Doesn't matter the brand, by the way. Don't like it. Hate it. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, I don't like it typically. I mean, you know, sometimes friends show me a guitar, their guitar, and they have carbon first string on it. And when I'm playing it, I think, wow, actually, this guitar works well with a carbon first string. But it's really just in that first impression moment that I think their guitar sounds great, and that, you know, it's got the carbon first string assist and all this stuff like volume and evenness and sustain. But then if I spend a little bit more time with it, I think, I would like to change that, you know? So on first impression, and also honestly, for my purpose of demoing a guitar, it might be better that I use carbon first string because it matches the other strings more evenly. You don't need to adjust your hand for it. But I can't really enjoy it that much with a carbon first string. I have to try so hard to get a warm sound out of a carbon first. But statistically, you know, data-wise, I feel like it's great. Dave says he agrees, yeah. So nice. You get a real Spanish punch to it too when you lean into the strings a little bit more, you know. But I'd say this guitar, for Spanish guitar, has a very warm character to it, with brightness that you can get. Listen to that. It sounds like a Hauser to me. And then you get the Spanish guitar here. I might make a review of this guitar today after I swap the first string out. Listen to the depth of that sixth string. Pretty nice. What do you guys think? Am I just speaking gibberish over here? Do you guys agree with some of the things I'm saying? Let me click over to chat here. Already, some of you know who you are in this chat, writing emails about the guitars in this video. I clicked over to the email. So hello, you know who you are. Wow. Oh, sorry for the buzz. Well, I have to end things here because I teach in 7 minutes, and I always review my lesson notes that I make for the students. Some of you are here, actually, I believe. And anyways, yes, I always review the lesson notes before the lessons, so I must go to give myself at least 5 minutes to do that. Thank you so much for watching. All of these guitars, the Antonius Müller, the Altamira, Vienna guitar, as well as this Raya Ferrer, are not on the website yet. There are no full videos on them, just what you've seen today. And if you're interested in them, please write to me. You know where to find me. Thanks so much for tuning in the stream. This is so much fun, y'all. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you about one other guitar I just got in recently, is this Douglas Scott 615 scale. I said that correctly. 615 millimeter scale. So if you're interested in a Douglas Scott, one of the, you know, foremost traditional guitar makers, please let me know. Yeah, I'll be making a video. Well, that'll be having an appearance in a live stream sometime soon. I have to change the strings. So, all right, you all, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, which should be releasing in the next few days. And I'll see you in the next stream next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. Thanks so much for tuning in, y'all. Bye-bye.